Hello, class! Now we are going to continue with our discussion. So, have you ever wondered why objects fall to the ground when dropped, class? And have you ever wondered what keeps us from floating off into space? Now, what happens when you drop a ball? Why does it always fall to the ground? It's because of, do you have an idea? Yes, John?
It's because of the gravity.
Come again? Yes, John is correct. So it's because of gravity. So gravity is the invisible force that pulls objects toward each other. So gravity, class, is a force that pulls things toward each other, even though we can't see it. So it's what keeps us on the ground and makes things fall when we drop them. Now try to imagine when you jump in the air. So why do you always come back down? That's because Earth's gravity is pulling you back. So it's the same reason why a ball falls when you throw it up. Now, the bigger an object is, the stronger its gravity. And since Earth is very big, it has strong gravity that pulls everything toward it, including us. All right. Now take a look at the examples of gravity. So first, an apple falling from a tree. So what makes the apple fall to the ground as soon as it detaches from the branch of the tree? So what makes an apple fall to the ground as soon as it detaches from the branch of the tree? Yes, Isabella?
Yes, teacher. So an apple comes from the tree because of gravity, and since an apple is kind of heavy teacher, it easily falls a lot faster.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Isabella. So it's because it's being pulled by the Earth's gravity. So it falls down toward the ground instead of floating up into the sky. So the second example is kids sliding on a slide. So gravity pulls the kid down the slide. So the slide is built at an angle. Now, gravity isn't pulling the kid straight down to the Earth's center, but instead, it is pulling them along the surface of the slide. And without gravity, the kid would just stay at the top of the slide or maybe float. And last example is walking without floating. So why don't we float up into the sky whenever we walk? It's because Earth's gravity is constantly pulling us down towards the ground. And this is what keeps our feet on the ground and allows us to walk. So if there's no gravity, class, what do you think will happen? Can we still walk without floating? Yes, please open your mic. Can we still walk without floating?
No, teacher.
No, teacher.
Yes, it's a big no. So let us say thank you, gravity. All right, all together, open your mic.
Thank you,
Thank you,
gravity.
gravity.
All right, thank you so much. Now, we've been talking about gravity, gravity, gravity. Now, who do you think discovered gravity? Do you have an idea? Yes, Christine?
Is it Isaac Newton, teacher?
Let's see. Very good. So it was Sir Isaac Newton. Now, legend has it that Sir Isaac Newton discovered gravity when an apple fell from a tree and landed near him. So, this simple observation led him to ponder why the apple fell straight down instead of sideways or upwards. Now, Newton realized that a force must be pulling the apple towards the earth, and this marked the beginning of his groundbreaking work on gravity. And he formulated that the force of gravity between two objects is proportional to their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Now, gravitational attraction depends on the mass and distance. So we have here, if mass increases, the force of gravity increases. And if distance increases, the force of gravity decreases. So the strength of this force class depends on two factors, that is mass and the distance. Now, if an object has more mass, its gravity is stronger. So, for example, Earth has more mass than a basketball. So, Earth's gravity is much stronger. All right? And if objects are farther apart, the force of gravity between them gets weaker. That's why astronauts on the moon, which is far from Earth, don't feel as strong a pull from Earth as we do on the surface. In short class, the closer and more massive the objects, the stronger the gravitational pull. And the lighter or farther away they are, the weaker the pull. Now, class, can you grab two objects within your reach of different weights and kindly drop it on the same height? Do you have now the two objects? Kindly react hard if yes. Any objects? All right, thank you so much. Now, try to drop it on the same height and observe if it will hit the ground the s- at the same time. All right, so try dropping them now and tell me what you have observed. Done? All right, so now who wants to share what they have observed upon dropping the two objects? No one? Can I have Jeff Chi, please? So what have you observed upon dropping the two objects, Jeff Chi?
Yes, teacher. So when object fall down,
Uh-huh. Yes. So the object with more mass class will reach the ground first because the bigger the object is, the stronger its gravity, and the lighter they are, the weaker the pull. All right. Thank you so much, Jeff Chi. Now, gravity and weight. So, weight is the force of gravity pulling downward an object. Now, weight is the force exerted by gravity on an object's mass. It tells us how strongly gravity pulls on an object. Unlike mass, that stays the same no matter where you go, but your weight can change because gravity is different in different places. Now, weight is a force measured in units like newtons. And if there's no significant gravity class, there's no significant weight. This is why astronauts in space experience weightlessness because they are far enough away from significant gravitational sources to feel a strong pull from gravity. Now, weight can be calculated using the following formula, which is weight is equals to mass times gravitational acceleration. Now, W, as what I've said earlier, is for weight, which is the force exerted by gravity on an object, and it is measured in newtons or the capital N. And M represents mass, which is a measure of the amount of matter in an object. Now, mass is measured in, do you know, class? Mass is measured in kilograms. Now, g is the acceleration due to gravity, which varies depending on the location. Now, gravitational acceleration on Earth is approximately, who can tell me, class, what is gravitational acceleration on Earth? Yes, Jennifer?
9.81 meter per second.
Indeed, amazing. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Now, we have here an example. So, a person with a mass of 60 kilograms is standing on the surface of the Earth, where the acceleration due to gravity is approximately 9.81 meter per second squared. Now, what is the person's weight? Again, our formula here is weight is equals to mass times the gravitational acceleration. So we have here 60 kilograms times 9.81 meter per second squared, where as we multiply the 60 times 9.81, we come up with an answer of,
588.
yes, 588.6 Newton. Again, why do we use the N or Newton, class? No idea? It's okay. So we use newtons because weight is a force, specifically the force exerted by gravity on an object's mass. So therefore, the person's weight on Earth is approximately 588.6 newtons. Now another example. If the same person class, which has 60 kilograms, were on the moon, where the gravitational acceleration is 1.62 meter per second squared. Now, what would be the person's weight? You can type your answers on the in-call messages, class. Now, let me repeat. If the same person were on the moon, where gravitational acceleration is 1.62 meter per second squared, what would be the person's weight? You'll be using the same formula. All right, Christine answered 97.2 Newton. So how did you come up with that answer, Christine?
I multiplied 60 times 1.62, teacher.
Yes. Therefore, the person's weight would be 97.2 newtons. So, this shows, class, how weight changes with different gravitational accelerations. Now, take note that weight changes with different gravitational accelerations because weight is a force that depends on both the mass of an object and the gravitational acceleration acting upon it. Since mass remains constant, changes in gravitational acceleration, such as moving from Earth to the Moon, result in changes in weight. right? Like in Earth, we have 9.8 meter per second squared, while on the moon, the gravitational acceleration is 1.62 meters per second squared, leading to significantly different weights for the same object. Now, you may ask, teacher, what is the difference between mass and weight? Now, weight is how heavy something feels when you're holding it or standing on a scale. It's like how much pull the earth is exerting on you. Now, if you go to the moon, you'll weigh less because the moon's pull is weaker. Now, mass is how much stuff or matter is inside an object. It doesn't change no matter where you are in the universe. And if you have a big bag of potatoes, the mass of those potatoes stays the same, whether you're on Earth or on the moon. But the weight of the potatoes would be less on the moon because the moon's gravity is weaker. Think of it like this, class. Mass is like the number of potatoes in your bag. It stays the same everywhere. And weight is like how heavy the bag feels when you lift it. All right? So it changes depending on where you are, like Earth or on the moon. Now, so do you understand how to calculate weight? Can I receive
Yes,
a heart
teacher.
reaction? All right, thank you so much. Now, take note, class, that gravity is the cosmic glue that holds the universe together. So it's responsible for keeping planets in orbit around the sun. Because without gravity, planets would simply drift away into space. So the sun's immense gravity keeps all the planets in our solar system in their respective orbits, preventing them from floating into the unknown. Now, you might not realize it, but gravity plays a crucial role in our everyday life, from walking to playing sports. Gravity influences all our movements. Now, is gravity understood, class?
Yes,
Yes,
teacher.
teacher.
Yes, teacher.
All right, thank you so much. And since we already know what friction and gravity is, we can now help Mickey and his friends. Now we must tell Mickey that friction slows things down while gravity pulls things downward. By that, Mickey adjusts the slide surface, and now kids can slide down safely. Now for the grand finale. The carnival opens, and after completing all four challenges, Mickey announces that the Motion Carnival is ready to open. Because of the students' hard work, all the rides are fixed and everyone can enjoy the carnival. Gosh, science sure is fun. All right, so that ends with my discussion for gravity. So now I hope that you've learned a lot and thank you so much for your participation. And with that, class, kindly prepare uh kindly get a 1/4 sheet of paper for a 10 item quiz. Just raise your hand if you already have a 1/4 sheet of paper and, of course, a pen. All right. So since I can see here that you're already raising your hands, so let us now start with our quiz. So I will give you 1 minute to answer each slide. You may now start. If you're done answering class, kindly take a picture of your papers and submit it on the Google Drive that we've provided. Thank you. All right, so thank you so much for today, class. Goodbye and thank you, everyone.
Thank you, teachers.